Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, October 5th, 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who listen every week, I am so very grateful, who comment, who like, who are subscribed. I just appreciate it so very much. And for those of you who are new, please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com. I'm also on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. My business page on Facebook is Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Medium. I'm on TikTok too under Lisa Hopp 55, and I will be adding more material there shortly. Welcome. Today's topic: love consciousness is here. What is love consciousness? God, source, higher energy, universe, higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Today, I want to call it love consciousness. I heard this from a wonderful teacher, Dr. David Clements. He's in the UK. He does not have a YouTube channel, but he often gives interviews. And when he called it love consciousness, it just spoke to me. Because he is a great teacher of the heart-mind cohesion and the understanding that in order to heal anything, in order to manifest, in order to connect with God in heaven, you go in through the heart. You center yourself through the heart, which is where my work is going. It actually has gone, but it's expanding. And so I will be offering courses and masterminds and even, free stuff about really connecting and using that heart consciousness. It's very much in that centering. You're in the present, which is where you find heaven. So, just the fact that so many teachers like Dr. Clements and Greg Braden and, even before this time period, Louise Hay or Dr. Joe Dispenza are all talking about how to get in to the heart. Mr. Neville Goddard. I'm smiling at me. He passed decades ago, but his great books were about the feeling is the secret. And when you go into love consciousness, you feel love. You feel overjoy of love. And that is the key. So how is it here? Well, I'll give you a fine example. I had spoken of one earlier where when there was a shooting in Colorado, a local business responded to that shooting by giving away free meals. I heard a story this week, which I have no reason not to believe is true, that after the shooting of the Mormon church in Michigan, that the community of the church set up a fundraiser for the shooter's family. That is love consciousness in action. It is about putting out higher energy, higher consciousness, good karma, putting out what you want to get back. Now, as I often say to you, it's a natural setup of the natural laws of the universe. Law of cause and effect, that what you put out, you get back. But that doesn't mean it's supposed to be an eye for an eye. We are of the understanding nowadays through higher consciousness that it is not supposed to be an eye for an eye. It's naturally set up for consequences. But what we wish on another, we bring on ourselves. So we want to be very careful about that. Now, this is all about energy. So I want to explain also about how love consciousness works with manifestation. Because manifestation of whatever you put out is happening even if you're not consciously aware of it. And a lot of the time, we're not consciously aware of it, because 95% of what we put out is actually coming from our subconscious due to repetitiveness rather than our conscious mind and feelings. But there is a way to reprogram that through focus, hypnosis, and other tools. So I wanted to just briefly take a moment and explain how energy works. And if you listen every week, you may have heard somewhat of this before, but I love reinforcement. I reinforce every day through videos, music, journaling, reading. Because I'm reprogramming, and I've noticed the difference in my own life and what I manifest, and just how much lighter and happier life is for me. And I want that for you as well. So here's how it goes. And I'm a very plain speaker, and I have to be visual in my learning. So if this weren't an audio podcast, I may be giving you a diagram, but I'm going to explain it very plainly. We are made of energy, and energy is all around us. That energy all around us is atoms and electrons and protons. And it circles around us like in waves. And those waves carry infinite possibilities of paths, channels that you can choose. And I love that, infinite possibilities. I was actually certified by Mike Dooley, a best-selling author who wrote the book Infinite Possibilities. And the course, of course, the life coaching course, that's the best title for it. We always have more than one possibility, more than one path, and it swirls around. It's swirling around us individually and as a whole, whether we are aware of it or not. And the only time it turns into the probability is when we are observing it. If it doesn't observe, it just keeps twirling. If it doesn't have that observation. So it's always, you can even see it like almost like a hologram or something that's happening that we're not even aware of, but it's there to see if anyone's going to pay attention to it. And so when we observe it, especially with strong emotions, feelings, thoughts, words, it then turns into the physical or matter. And it comes into our three-dimensional heavy reality. What you see with your naked eyes, in other words. And so that is why it's so important for us to understand what we should be observing. And to not observe what you don't want to observe. Now, I am one that believes that doesn't mean that you should ignore things that should not be necessarily ignored. In other words, if you see something, say something, of course. If I don't like it, I'm not going to observe it. We do, again, want to have good energy. We want to put out good energy. But we're talking about your life and the fact that you have the extraordinary power and leadership in creating your life. You are not a puppet. Life is not happening to you. It's happening from you. All right? And what you have been focused on. Now, what we focus on and observe is often given to us too. It means that we have been given observations and beliefs from our families, from our teachers, from the news, from our pastors, from our priests, from all other places in our environment. But what we're coming to understand as an existence is that we can change any belief. A belief is your truth. What you choose to believe is yours. What you choose to be fact is your truth. And so it's important, if you are one that wants to bring positive change into your life, you have the equipment, you have the power, you have the tools. So when you observe something and it's now set by natural law into your three-dimensional thick life, because it's thick, it has its own timing. Divine timing is fast. Once you observe it, it's yours. But it has to still kind of land around you, which is why some would not believe that love consciousness is really here, because they don't see the naked eye evidence of it all around them. But it is. So let's say, for instance, that you wish to have more wealth in your life. You cannot focus on debt with emotion. I don't like it. I don't want to pay that bill. I don't want this. It's important not to focus on fear about money not being there or running out. It's important not to say things like, I can't leave a job because I need the health insurance. That is again focusing on what you do not wish to create rather than what you want to create. Focus on, it works out for me. The universe or God or however you want to name it is always working on my behalf and always comes through. I am supplied for. And then see what inspired action you take, because this isn't about working hard for the money or forcing anything. This is about alignment with what you want. And so you have to align with strong emotions on what you truly want, not on what you see around you. That is already the past. Because you're the physical, and for lack of a better example, is like a storm. It has to pass through. And while it's passing through, it doesn't mean that what you want is not on its way. It just means it's a little bit slower about leaving because it's thicker. And it's really representing what is already formed in the past. So if you stay focused on what is the reality that you truly want, and you feel it as already done, and you believe it, and there is nothing that can be said or done to make you think otherwise, it has to appear. And I find it usually comes out of nowhere, usually comes unexpectedly. So I hope you're staying with me now, right? There is energy that twirls around you, and it's waiting for you to align with what you want to align with through observation and through emotions. And once you choose it, it's almost like it stops, like their wheel stops, and it stops on the alignment that you chose. And then source energy begins to bring it into you. Sometimes it takes a day, sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months, but it brings it towards you. And that is how energy, life, and heaven consciousness works. And you can choose to realign at any time. You can upgrade, you can up-level. You can also go backwards if you choose. You are the captain of your ship. You are the complete commander. Again, nothing is happening to you. We look outward all the time. Everything happening is inward. So coming back to inspired action, let's just say you've been affirming wealth and you're at a present job. You give 110% to that present job while affirming wealth, believing wealth, knowing it's yours. And then out of nowhere, someone lays you off, your boss. That was to get you towards the wealth. You may think, well, it didn't work. I got laid off when I was just trying to get more money. Maybe you couldn't get more money where you were, so you had to go. I find that Source's plan or way of getting it to me is always the path that I wouldn't have chosen. I went to stop myself and say, maybe it's not always. But then I thought, yeah, it's always. It's never the one that you would design in your head. It's always the one that gets the job done, though. Always. So let's go to health. If you are focused on disease, if you are focused on how the pain you're feeling, it's not just, it's, yes, we're human. The more you focus on what you wish would go away, the longer it stays and the stronger it gets. But if you can focus on feeling wellness, on distracting yourself from the pain with funny movies and good friends and family that make you laugh, that's why they say laughter is the best medicine, then you will bring the wavelength towards you of health. You may get an understanding of a medicine that helps. Or you may just get instantaneous healing. It's all individual to what is best. And it's not, by the way, this energy does not have judgment. It does not have an ego. It does not play favorites. It is not like the religious figure that we are taught about. You can know it if you want, Father God, but it doesn't have any of the attributes that are negative. So it doesn't give somebody a cure and somebody else not a cure because that's what they deserve. It is about alignment. Now, with health, it can also include transition, but that's not what I'm talking about today. That's a different topic. I'm talking about when you are enduring a physical issue with the will to be on earth. Love relationships. You manifest what comes from you. If you want to manifest what you've had before, you're going to get it. If you still haven't gotten over that relationship or just drawn to that type of person, you're going to get them with another face. Or maybe cycle with that person. It is important to focus on the qualities that you want and to be very clear and concise about them. And also, in a relationship, come from a place as much as possible during the day, from a place of unconditional love, grace, patience, understanding. That is where relationships thrive. Now, I gave a small little video when was it? August. about centering your hands on your heart area. You can put one hand over your heart or put two hands in your sternum area, whichever you feel that you want to do. And just center your focus on that area. And when you start to feel it become much lighter, or feel love welling up, then you focus at that moment on what you truly want to manifest in every area of your life. And feel happy and glee and joy about the fact that you just asked for it and the answer was yes. Because it's always yes. And then after you do that, you walk around this earth as if feeling it strongly, thinking it, speaking of it. It's happened already. It is yours. You prepare the spot on the bed for the partner, room in the closet. You spend what you have, but you happily look at any item you wish to have. And you'll notice if you can do this, that the universe starts to give you signs that it's about to arrive. For instance, if you decide that you must have, would love to have, would like to focus on manifesting a Lamborghini, a black Lamborghini, you're probably going to start to notice Lamborghinis everywhere. Because the universe has heard you and is letting you know it's in your wave. It's in your energy field. All you have to do is smell that Lamborghini, see and feel yourself driving it, owning it, loving it, free and clear, all of that, and it'll pop up physically in your world. I've had that happen to me personally, where I saw the car with my naked eyes. I smelled the interior. I saw myself behind the wheel, driving, as if it were really happening in real time. And then circumstances happened to bring it into my life. That is how energy works. And also, I want to end this podcast today with saying this. Love consciousness is here through actions, through moments when you feel supported and loved, through healings, through joy that is being experienced in this world. Remember to fill up your cup first, but then tip it over and let it flow out to all around you. If you feel peace within, send peace to the world. If you feel joy, send joy out to others. Want victory for someone else and applaud their win. Be happy for them. Because again, what you're focusing on in your vibration is what has to come back to you. We are one consciousness. We are all connected to love consciousness as a creation. Use it for the higher good, and you will see the most extraordinary things in your life. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that was clear. If not, please comment. If you're on YouTube, or email me at serenityharbor@verizon.net, and I'll be sure to give you some clarity. Once again, go to my website, lisahaupt.com, and if you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next time.